Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as we kickstart a new chapter in Algebra 2, 1.1 Expressions and Formulas. Before we begin, we're going to start with some vocab words. A vocab word that you have probably heard before, variables. Variables are letters used to represent unknown quantities. So X would be something that we would use to represent something we do not know in the word problem. And then an algebraic expression is an expression that contains at least one variable, normally more. So let's see. Here's our first expression where m plus the quantity p minus 1, that quantity squared, and then we have m is 3 and p is negative 4. So let's make sure that we go ahead and plug in what we do know. So we have 3 plus, and then from my problem here, a left parenthesis, p is now negative 4 minus 1 from my problem, that is squared. Now we just keep working order of operations here. So it's 3 plus, and then my next step is what's inside the parentheses. That is negative 4 minus 1, which is negative 5, and that's squared. Now, what's the next order of operations is exponents. So we have to negative 5 squared. Be careful here because that is going to be 25, and then bring down what we did not use. So 3 plus 25 is 28, and that is your final answer. Next, we're asked to solve, or evaluate, actually, we're asked to evaluate this expression. We're not solving anything. So let's go ahead and plug in everything we know. So I know that this 12 goes in for my m. I'm going to bring down the division sign. I'm going to bring down the 2. And then again, I'm using my q, which is negative 1, bring down my plus 4. Now we have to be very, very careful here. We're using the order of operations. So we want to go 12 divided by 2, which is 6, still times negative 1 plus 4. We cannot add this 4 until we are done with multiplication and division. So now it's negative 6 plus 4, and that turns into negative 2 for my expression. Number 3, keep plugging this stuff in with what you're given. So now I have 4 for h. Make sure you have your square. You have 0.5 for k. And now when I put that number in for k, notice how I put parentheses around it? To me, that just tells me that I inserted something for that k. And then we bring down plus, then what is our h? Our h is again 4, and then our h again is 4 minus 0.5. So once we get here, now it's just all order of operations. So first thing we have to do is square it, so it's 16, and then times 0.5 plus, and now since it's separated by a plus sign, I'm going to do what's inside the parentheses, so it's 3.5. After I subtract 0.5 from 4, now I multiply everything out. So it's going to be, again, over here, it is 8 plus, this is 14, as I keep going, 22. Now 4 looks a little bit tricky, but it's not too bad if we just follow what we're putting in and follow the order of operations. So let's try it. I put in negative 1 in for that j, and since I put it in for j and there's an exponent, I'm going to put a parentheses around it, I'm going to square it. Minus 3 from the problem, that h is 4, and so since I put it in with numbers around it, I'm going to put parentheses also around it just to let me know that I did not have that before, and that all goes over negative 1 cubed now plus 2. All right, looks like there's a lot going on in this problem. Let's take it step by step. So we square, what are we squaring here? Well, first of all, do we have parentheses? No, we do not have parentheses. Then we have exponents. Let's take care of our exponents. So now this turns into 1 because negative 1 squared is 1. And so then minus 3. 4 squared is 16. I'm bringing down that 0.5 and closing it up. And that's going to be over. Now we have to be also careful here. Negative 1 cubed is negative 1 because let's think about this. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, but then times another negative 1, and that's negative 1. And then bring down the plus 2. We keep going as I move to the right. I have 1 minus, now we multiply all that junk together, all this junk right here, to get minus 24. And then that goes over a positive 1. Then 1 minus 24 turns into negative 23, still over 1, which turns into negative 23 for your final answer. One more. Now it's a word problem, but we're still given a formula that we can figure out. So here we go. The formula for the area, which is A, of a trapezoid is 1/2 times the height times the bases added up, where h represents the height, so h represents the height, which is important. B1 and B2 represent the measures of the bases. Doesn't matter where we put them in, but then we're asked to find the area of the trapezoid with the base lengths. All right, what are these? They are the base lengths and the height of 8. So I underlined all the key parts of it. Now we just have to plug it in. So as I drag my formula down, there it is. Now I have 1/2 from my formula, 1/2. Now my height, it says 8 meters, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. So it's 8. And then it says bases, but since we're adding it together, does it really matter where we put our bases in for? No, so it's just going to be 13 plus 25. And now you just simplify. So 1/2 times 8 is 4. Inside my parentheses turns into 38. 4 times 38 turns into 152. So the area of the trapezoid is 152 meters because we are given the unit meters, but we're talking area, so it's meters squared. And that does it for the first section of Chapter 1, Expressions and Formulas. Good day.